So now we'll talk of some of the other aspects of Gen AI. So the most important thing is something called prompt. Now, what is a prompt? A prompt is nothing but an instruction, and how good the instruction is, that will determine the goodness of the output. So the quality of the output will depend upon how you write a prompt. So usually prompts can be a good prompt, a bad prompt, and a not a very good prompt. So I'm just giving you, if you look at these examples, you can see, and we'll also do some hands-on now. So if I write a prompt like this, write an essay on mental health. In fact, we can do it right away, and I'll show you how these things can be done. So go to this website, OpenAI, and then log in. So if you already have been given a user ID password, you can use that and click on ChatGPT. So there are two things here. One is called ChatGPT and one is API. So ChatGPT is the platform where you can use to query and get some responses. So this is what we are going to use right now. So API is mainly for development. So for example, you want to generate some custom applications and you want to build uh, using some specific data, which is your company's data, your domain. So I can use these APIs and then create my custom applications. But for other purposes, we will use this inbuilt ChatGPT model. So you click on this ChatGPT, click this, and then it is going to take you to. So they have changed the interface. So earlier it used to directly go. So now we have a slightly different interface. So click on login. Then use the login page and then come to this page. So now the first thing is you will see the last line here. ChatGPT can make mistakes. Okay, consider checking important information. So this is what we were talking just now, discussing right now, is the reliability of the information. Okay, so do not take whatever you get as an output as the final word. You need to have a manual intervention. You need to check the authenticity of this information, whether it is valid, it is reliable, whether it can be used, and only then you use that information for your work. Now let us see what is the meaning of this term called good prompt versus not a good prompt. Okay, so I'm going to take this first topic. So you can also write the same thing, or if you want to write a different prompt, you can do that. So my prompt is write an essay on mental health. Now let us see what is the output of this. Okay, now it has given me a lot of information here based on my prompt, write an essay on mental health. Now, why is this not a good prompt? Number one, I have not given any context. Okay, I have only given a very general statement that mental health, because mental health can mean a lot of things. Okay, so here I have not specified anything in the condition. So when you are given a response like this, and you have a lot of information that you get as a response, which you cannot use it, or it becomes very difficult for you to make sense out of it. Such things are known as hallucinations. So this is a technical term that is used in generative AI. It is called hallucination. So a hallucination means that the information that you get as a response is not much use for you, or it is too general. Okay, it is not a very specific outcome. So I need to reduce the hallucination so that the response suits what I want. So in this example, I can see that it is hallucinating. There are too many things which may not be applicable, and it is also a very long response. So I need to reduce this and make it more crisp. Okay, now there are different ways in which I can reduce my hallucination by giving a better prompt. And if you have to do this programmatically, there are lots of settings that you can do when you write your code. So one such parameter is called temperature. So there is a concept when you retrieve these records. It is called deterministic. And the second one is called probabilistic. So the responses are deterministic and probabilistic. So deterministic means that each time you write a response, a prompt, I get the same answer. Okay, so if I write this again, write a health and mental health, I'll get the same response. If I do it tomorrow, I'll get the same response. If someone else does this, the same response. So this is called deterministic model. What is a probabilistic model? Probabilistic model is when the responses change. Okay, like someone said, the summary will be similar, but the overall context will be different. And also someone said that the closest answers will be retrieved. Okay, so the closest answer will change each time when I write a query. Okay, even though the query may be same. So because on the randomness, the answers might be different. Okay, so these are the two kinds of responses that you will get, deterministic and probabilistic. Okay, so that is the two types of models, probabilistic and deterministic. Okay, now we can see the hallucination. So let's try to alter this and see if we can get a better prompt. So here I have the example. So I'm going to slightly alter this. So here I'm writing, write a, so let us not have 1000. So I can take, write a 300-word essay on the effect of social media on mental health. Okay, now look at this answer and look at the previous answer. Now, which is more crisp? It is shorter and to the point. Okay. So what I'm trying to emphasize here is your output will depend on what kind of prompts that you specify. Can we have a better prompt? So here it is 300-word essay on the effect of social media on mental health. So this is a better prompt than the one before. Now here I'm going to just alter this and say, write a 250-word essay on the effect of social media on mental health, citing relevant examples from people's experiences and provide a logical conclusion. So now if I give this, so you need to analyze the both these chats responses and see which is better. And then accordingly, you can alter the prompt and get a better response. Okay, so you can write, or no, you can say something like this. Write a 250-word on the effect of social media, citing relevant examples from people's experiences. You can also say provide some statistics in a tabular form on the provide some statistics in tabular form for 10 countries, something like this. Okay, now I have only altered a small thing in the chat prompt, and here it gives real life experiences and some statistical overview. Okay, so even though the output could have been better, but no, you can change this in the prompt. And it gives me statistics of 10 countries. Okay. So likewise, you can keep altering the prompts so that you get the relevant responses. So this is how the prompts have to be specified. The quality of the output depends on the quality of the input. So if you have a good prompt, you will get a good response. Otherwise, you will have a lot of hallucinations. And ChatGPT, you really cannot have a lot of other things, other models, because it uses the default model. So the answers, some of the answers may not be that relevant. So that is why we have these APIs where you can map this to different models and then you can get different responses. Okay. All right, good. So let's go to the next topic now, and that is prompt. Okay, now what is a prompt? We have seen the definition. It is the input that you give as part of the prompt engineering and for a better response. Now, are there any different types, variations in prompts? Yes, there are. There are lots of prompting types. We'll look at a couple of examples. There are close to some 50-60 types of prompts, if not less. There are a lot of these things, but we'll look at some standard prompting examples and types, and we'll get the try to get those responses. OK, so the first one is called as zero shot prompting or a standard prompting. So I'll just write it here. It is called zero shot prompt. So zero shot means that you are not giving any context. You are not giving any conditions, just like what we did some time back. Okay, so here is an example. So no previous data or guidelines is given to complete the prompt. Okay, so here I'll take this example. Write a 100-page summary on emerging technologies. Now, if I write not a 100-page, okay, it should be 100-word. Otherwise, it will be too big. So write a 100-word summary on emerging technologies. So emerging technologies, it gives a very, very generic statement and also gives a lot of examples. OK, again, it is kind of an hallucination. OK, you really do not know whether this is a proper response or not. So very, very general stuff. OK, so this is called as zero shot prompting. So now we'll go to the second example, and that is one shot prompting. This is called one shot prompt. So in a one shot prompt, you give the prompt and also specify an example that what exactly do you need in that prompting. So if I take the same example, so write a 100-word summary on emerging technologies and emphasize on cloud computing. So instead of cloud computing, I can say emphasize on 5G, emphasis on 5G. Okay, now let us see what this gives us. And now see. So emerging technologies spearheaded by the revolutionary 5G network are reshaping the digital landscape. 5G. So now it is completely focused on the 5G. It has given a 100-word summary on the 5G technology or the 5G network. So this example is of a one-shot prompt. So this is called one-shot prompting. Then we have something called as, it is called few-shot prompting. So in a few-shot prompting, you can specify multiple conditions or multiple pieces of data for the prompt. So here I'm going to slightly alter this and say write a 250-word summary on emerging technologies with emphasis on 5G network. Then start with an introduction. So start with an introduction to 5G network and give a list of companies who specialize in. Okay, so there you go. So here I have given multiple conditions or few short. What is that? Number one is 250 word summary, emerging technologies, 5G network, starting an introduction, and then list of companies. So a lot of input. So based on that, it is going to give me the response. So there is an introduction, then who are the companies, and then what is the main topic? It is on 5G. Okay, so now we'll go to the next one. This is called role prompt. So role prompt means that you are making the AI system or the language model to play a role of something. Okay, so the role could be of a doctor, the role could be of a finance director, the role could be of a movie producer or a movie director. Okay, or it could be fashion designer, whatever it is. Okay, so how do you define a role and write a prompt based on that? So your prompting could be something like this. You are a fashion photographer. Tell me the top 5 trends, or I can say tell me the top 5. You can say top 5 trends in fashion photography and how to make a career as a photographer. So let's see. So the top 5 trends in fashion photography. So storytelling narratives, diversity, sustainability, experimental techniques, digital and social media, build a strong portfolio. So this is how you make a career, okay, networking, blah, 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 blah. So here my context is the language model is a fashion photographer. So now we'll look at one more example, and this is called chain of thought. So there are lots of prompting techniques. We'll maybe take one or two and then we will stop. So chain of thought prompting means that logically how things can be analyzed and broken down to arrive at the result. Okay. Now I can write a prompt something like this. Cost of 1 kg tomato is 7 rupees. Cost 1 kg sugar is 75 rupees. 1 kg, let's say beans is 45 rupees. A loaf of bread is 45 rupees. A dozen eggs is 80 rupees. Okay, so I'm giving a kind of item and price. Now I will give I purchased 6 kg of tomato, 10 kg of sugar, kg of beans, 3 loaves of bread, and 5 dozen eggs. what is the price of each item and the total cost. Give the output in a okay, so just a small illustration that how I can use chain of thought prompting, and let's see what it comes up with. Okay, so there you go. So 1 kg of tomato is 7 rupees. So I purchased 6 kg. So 7 into 6, 42. Sugar is 75 and 10. So that is 750. Then beans is 45. And how much did I get? 3 kgs. So that is 135. Bread is 45. So 45 into 3, that is 135. And 80 into 5, 400. So if you add up all these numbers, so it's always better to cross verify whether the response is right or wrong. So 42 plus 750 plus 135 plus 135 plus 400. So 1462. So this is a small explanation given that how the final number is calculated. So for each item, cost is multiplied by the price. The total cost is the sum of the individual. Therefore, the total cost is given as so much. So this is called chain of thought prompts. Is this clear to everyone? Any questions? Okay, so you can try it out with other examples and see if the model is able to break that into logical steps. Remember the problems that we had in school. There is an item which was purchased at a certain amount, and then successive discounts were applied. So there were 3 discount values given. So what is the final value of the product? So you can try out these kind of things and see if the model is able to predict the correct answer. So this is called chain of thought. So we'll just look at one last example. There are lots of prompting techniques. This is called option-based prompts. Okay, so there's an option-based prompt, then we have open-ended prompting, then there's a self-consistency, so lots of varieties. So we cannot complete everything in the given amount of time. Just take one example. This is called option-based prompts. So option-based prompt means that you ask a question and you ask an opinion. Okay, so what do you think? This is better or that is better? Okay. So that is called option based. So we can take an example for developing AI applications. Which language is better? R, Python or Java? Give 3 points for each language. So the response is like this. The choice of programming language depends on the factors. So I have asked for 3 points. So Python, what are the 3 points? Extensive libraries, community, versatility. For R, it is statistical analysis, data handling, and academic research adoption. For Java, it is scalability, enterprise integration, and object-oriented programming. Okay, so this kind of a prompt is called as an option-based prompting. Thank you, everyone.